So what I was doing was I was selling my third of Rockefeller Inc., which I can.
Gotcha.
And I was making...
So they have to do nothing to do it. Reasonable doubt.
Listen, but Rockefeller Inc. owns Reasonable Doubt.
Sure.
So Rockefeller Inc. owns Reasonable Doubt.
Yes.
That's the only asset in that company. Maybe some other shit, but that's the most valuable. But it owns everything for Reasonable Doubt. I own a third of that. I was selling my third. I'm selling my third. They found out, and because there's nothing they can do about it, they accused me of minting the whole album. They accused me of soliciting that I'm going to sell the whole album or the rights or the copyright. And that never was what I was doing, but solely just because so no one else would want to buy it. So it devalued it.
All right, listen, man. I got a free gift for you. Sponsored by my brother, Marquel Russell. Listen, he is going to give you the paid ad playbook. I asked him to give it to you, and I was like, yo, you got to give it to him for free. He said, all right. So he's going to teach you the 5x5x25 method. Now, I can't teach you that because I don't know it as good as Marquel. However, if you get the paid ad playbook, he's going to teach you this thing that has attracting 4 clients, 50 to 100 leads every single day. I'm talking about leads that actually convert. To this date, it's generated over $250 million in revenue for coaches, consultants, course creators, and experts in their field, okay? So listen, it's a 14-page action guide that's more valuable than 99% of these $9.97 courses that's out there. How I know? Because I got them all, okay? And he's going to give you a bonus training that's going to help you strategically strategize your own system. Strategically strategize your whole system. You need a strategy, fam. So listen, do me a favor. Go to socialproofgift.com. Socialproofgift.com. I certify, okay? He's the first person to help me make $30,000 in a week. It was crazy. No cap, okay? So go to socialproofgift.com. Check it out. It's free, absolutely free. Or text PROOF, P-R-O-O-F, PROOF, to 904-447-5274. The number's here, website's here. Back to the episode.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where you find the dopest people that did the dopest stuff, us being currently like the number 7, number 8 entrepreneurship podcast in the country. It's only right to have my favorite entrepreneur. Dave, you were on my dream board. I have 5 people that I wanted to interview. You 100% was at the top of the list, man. So today we got Mr. Dame Dash. What's good, brother?
What's happening?
Man, everything's good, man. Everything's good.
I like the setup, man.
Oh, well, I mean, it's your studio, so...
Yeah, but you brought all your stuff. So sometimes when people come through, they use all my stuff. And they're not prepared, so I appreciate that.
So, man, I just want to get straight into the business because I've admired you as a businessman for my entire life. You know what I mean? Like the way you kind of orchestrated, Rockefeller, you're picking up these artists. And I got an interesting question for you. I made a shirt that said, who made who great? And it's a picture of Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan. And my question for you is, do you think Michael Jordan made Phil Jackson look like the greatest coach in the world? Like he happened to find a Michael Jordan and, I mean, Phil got lucky and he wins these championships. Or do you think Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan without Phil Jackson?
I think he'd be a different Michael Jordan.
How so?
I mean, he may have had to get those rings someplace else until he found a Phil Jackson. But, Phil Jackson, I think, was very strategic and he understood how to balance energy, how to make someone great win not only for themselves, but for a whole team. So, that's where I can't call myself Phil Jackson because only one person actually ended up winning. And my thing was for the whole team to be equal. And that's the difference.
I don't know, bro, because Phil Jackson had B.J. Armstrong and Steve Kerr looking like superstars.
Exactly.
Bro.
The whole team looked like a superstar, and the whole team got rings.
Right.
My whole team didn't get the rings. Only one person got them. 2, Kanye.
And I guess
the ring I was looking for is the one that those announcements in Forbes.
Yeah.
So, the reason why I made up the sign like this, it just meant that we were going to sell 10 million records. That was the diamond.
That was the diamond?
Yeah, so that's what it meant. You understand what I mean? So I was like, diamond, that pyramid meant, definitely wasn't no Illuminati shit. It just simply meant that we're going to sell 10 million records one day. But we never did. But it wasn't for one person to get that kind of wealth. It was always for everyone to get that wealth.
Yeah.
It's never one person. It's always everyone.
But,
for me.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you can't necessarily control somebody's outcome. Like, for one, I feel like...
I'm talking about the team.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about the team. I ain't say what happened outside.
Right.
People did different kinds of success depending on what they consider success. Sure. You know, Scottie Pippen don't have a sneaker like Jordan.
Right.
So, that's a different thing. But collectively, they got that chip ring. Everyone got that ring. Everything else is irrelevant. According to the game, they got the elite of the game several times. You understand what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. Within the game that we signed on to a game for everyone to win. And that's always been if everyone don't win, then it's not to me a win. You understand what I mean?
That's a fact.
If your team don't win and you're the only one, then you wasn't even a part of the team. Yeah. You understand? Because you don't even want to win without your team. And that's where Jordan, he was able to have Jordan understand it's not about just Jordan. It was about every element of the team, and everyone was a star at their position because everyone played their position. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
And if they didn't, based on the documentary, it looked like there was consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's about a team. Yeah. So I was trying to achieve Phil Jackson-ness and making the whole team get the ring, but happens.
Yeah. So what was the initial vision? Like, did you see like hip hop? Like, for right now, I see podcasts and I'm like, yo, this is going to be dope. I'm about to hire podcasters and like, not hire them, but sign them, things of that nature. And that's my vision, right? I just got this big idea because we're in the space. So did you have a vision for
everything that's happening?
Initially, that's the first dream.
The dream was Rockefeller and then the clothing. I go like an octopus, the ancillary things, but all of them become equally important. Or one doesn't have to be important. You could cut it off and it doesn't affect the head.
Gotcha.
So Rockefeller was a commercial for the clothing, for the movies, for the liquor, for all those things, all those ancillary things, for us all to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. Well, take me back to that earlier Dame. Before Rockefeller, before the whole hip-hop mogul, who was Dame Dash? Like, in school, was you always this guy in school, like, yo, go get my snacks? Like, like, yo, I'm a boss.
It was a problem that I was named Dame Dash naturally, that my name was Damon Dash. So I always knew I was meant to be a superhero some way, shape, or form because I felt like I had a superhero name. So in school, I was getting money for a while. I had my first car when I was 16 years old, the Box Max.
What year was this?
The year is, I don't even know what year it is now, bro. 80. I got kicked out of school for parking in my principal's parking spot. Because I was like, yo, the taxpayers pay her. I should be able to park. 2 schools.
You thinking like that as a high school student, bro?
Yeah. I always had this chip on my shoulder because I went to private school and then I got kicked out of every private school you could get kicked out of. So then I went to Manhattan Center. I went to Isaac Newton, got kicked out of that. I don't know how my mother got me out of that. But I ended up in Manhattan Center, which was an all-black school. And, my thing when I was in private school was just, y'all not better than me or nothing. That was it.
Where'd you develop Where'd you develop this, though? It had to be some sort of influence.
I just had a clarity. I don't care what you're telling me. I go by what I know. So I know I could beat you up. I know I'm better than every sport. I know you're a girl like me. I know you can't dance. And you're not smarter than me. I know that you're cheating, that all your parents' money come from their parents. I always saw this. And then I go back, I was almost insecure. I was like so superior in this world because I'm like, it must be because I'm black, that I had to hit the street to see if I could still be that same superhero. I thought I only stood out because I was black. So I never had a fear of another culture, ever. And then when I went to a black school and learned how, because what happened was my mom's spoiled me. I had everything. I always had a lot of sneakers, had the pinball machine, the Atari with every, I was spoiled.
Really?
Yeah, it's from $11.99. That wasn't a rough life. It was right on the river, duplexes, swimming pools indoor, but right in the middle of the hood, surrounding. And I was like 15, and my Suzuki Jeeps came out, and they only cost like 10 racks. And I'm like, Mom, can you get me a Suzuki? She's like, you can't even drive. You're 15. It's not legal. And I was tight. And, I found freedom in my school because I learned how to hustle. Crack had just come out. That shit was like the internet in the street.
Really?
Yeah. Every young dude turned into adult because they would get more money than their parents. And, I got with a crew and I ended up on 142nd Street through a good friend of mine and it burnt me out. I had the ability to buy cars. I had the ability to have clothes. I had no bills. My brain's not developed. Completely burnt me out.
Who was in that circle that we might know of today? Like, I'm talking about the beginning of you hustling.
You can't talk about that.
No? I mean, it's like some sort of statute of limitation. Like,
you got to watch the movie Honor Up.
I got you. I got you.
I can't. It just wouldn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Statue or not. Yeah, but
So when you put
we were surviving. You know what I mean? But we were in a crew called The Best Out, and we were playing basketball against Boss, and that was Kevin Childs and everyone else, the same gang. And we were throwing parties at the Cotton Club, and it was all about having mad fun because we didn't give a. It was like my crew was a crew of younger dudes that were all validated by the older dudes. All the older dudes always liked us because we were hustlers and, so we always had that layer of somewhat protection and we were like laughing that people took life so serious. We was just like, let's get money, let's floss, let's have fun. We the best out because, at that time, every day there were different places to go. So it'd be like Apollo one night, the rink another night, the rooftop another night, gamble here.
Did your parents know you was like...
Well, actually before my mom's died, I had found a paper and she had everybody I was hustling with. It was crazy. But after that, everybody knew. Because you got to remember, I went from being like a private school kid and all of that, like a real private school kid, and where everybody knew me as a private school kid, to all of a sudden being like, if you were from the East Side and you could hang out on the West Side, that was like a stat. You know what I mean? So I was like, at the time they called it scrambling. And it was like, damn, he from the East Side, but he on like one of the wildest blocks in Harlem, which was 142nd and Lenox. And, it was weird. And so the people like, if you Google, you'll see Malik Yoba grew up with me in my building. He's like, yo, I tried to tell him, he pulled up with a knot, and they would always say it's not sustainable, but, paying in full is about a personal experience that I witnessed, and that's what stopped me from actually moving forward in that direction. But I found another direction. I found another route, another path to get to where I needed to go. That didn't entail the recourse wasn't jail or murder. It was like, once I saw it, I'm like, I never understood, like when you talk about like a Pablo Escobar, like once you get $1 million tax-free, $1 billion, why keep hustling? I'm out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You beat the game. Right. 50 million. You good, especially in a place where things don't cost.
But when you like initially start, if you don't have anything, you're probably thinking, yo, I get 30,000, I'm out of here. Right? And perspective, right?
Well, I can say this. After I made my first $1 million, I said, yeah, I think I can make $1 billion, but I want to do it legal. It has to be legal. That's why after making a certain amount of money, by using other people's money, I chose independence, and that became my challenge. That was a struggle I chose. When you're not using other people's money and you're inspired a lot and you have good taste and you also know right from wrong and you will not turn the other way, you're choosing a certain challenge. I chose this challenge because I only need to impress me. I don't care what everyone else looks at as a W. In my heart, if you got to cheat to win, if you got to pretend something's yours that's not, if you have to sell your soul, your culture, and anything that comes with it, I don't care how much money or fame that comes with that, that's a loss to me. To me, I can't live with me, and that's who I spend the most time with. So I'm really worried about my self-esteem and how I look at me. And I can't hide from me. I can't look the other way and pretend I didn't. I'm always watching me. And honor means everything to me. It's priceless. And that's what people understand. Love and honor, which is one and the same, is everything. And yeah, somebody could tell you a piece of paper means something like money, and you see it doesn't. People are making up currencies daily now. Because it doesn't have to be backed by gold. It's backed by what you want to say it's worth.
Right. Yo, I still don't understand. Like,
that's
the people
freedom.
say it's worth this, so
but
that's
again,
what it's worth.
The dollar's supposed to represent a piece of gold. It hasn't in a long time.
Yeah.
They're just printing paper and getting loans off the Social Security numbers.
Right. So, which kind of brings me back to like the formation of, because obviously stuff going on with the NFT. I'm super interested in that. But how did you start Rockefeller? Like, you're hustling, right? And
I made a decision. I quit. Mm-hmm. Had a meeting on my block because we were throwing parties. I was like, yo, we're very influential. Our parties, the best our parties at the Cotton Club with Brucey B and Kid Capri, the whole city would be shut down. And we were the young dudes. Everybody, the girls loved us. You know, we had a ball. We were very cocky. Stupid. Like, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there's pictures, you could Google it, ask around.
Right.
There's receipts.
Right.
And I was like, yo, we need to make a record company out of this. We need to make a clothing line out of this. I had this meeting with my homies on the block. And one particular one...
What was the state of rap at this point? What was the state of hip-hop?
I wasn't thinking about the state of hip-hop. I'm like 18, 19.
Right.
I'm like, yo, I just think we could sell everything. Like, when you watch movies, like when you're going through a realistic environment, a real experience, and then you watching movies and you're like, that's corny, that's not how it happened. And at the time, because now rappers is real serious. They're about their business.
Yeah.
But back then, the rapper really wasn't the wild one. It was the person backing the rapper that was wild. So it'd be like, yeah, you know this is soft. You know, he ain't doing this, that, and the third. And that's how we were looking at things.
Right.
So we'd be like, and they not fresher than me. Like, no one's fresher than me. So I'm like, if I ever have the opportunity to make clothes, I'm going to be the best. If I have the opportunity to make a movie, I'm going to be the best. If I make a record, I'm going to be the best. If I party the best. I'm taking everybody's girls. I'm everything. I hustle. Right. Everything I do is fly. Right. I really believe this wholeheartedly, that, especially in that moment and now, freshest, bar none. And that's a Harlem dude's attitude.
For sure.
So I was like, let's take this sauce and let's sell it. Look at the influence. Harlem is the snobbiest place in the world. And if you're not right, they're going to laugh. No matter how much money you got. If you don't, follow things by, like, I'm 50, I still say pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like hearing in Harlem laughing. You know? So if you can be a star in Harlem, you can be a star. And look at A$AP Rocky. Yeah. You can star anywhere in the world.
Facts.
There's no other, me and Nicolette, we've been in a lot of places, right? If you walked into any place and we're not the coolest in the room, let me know. All over the world we've been. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just because of what we do and our attitude is just different. So I'm already aware of the sauce. And then I'm like, how is somebody from another culture taking our sauce and selling it back to us?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just saw that clearly very young.
Gotcha. So you have this meeting, and who's at this meeting? Like,
which one?
Like you say, yo, I'm done hustling. Just your crew. Yeah, that's right.
Best out.
Right, for sure.
But
so you say, yo, we gonna do hip hop, or we like, yo, we just gotta figure out how to sell this.
Nah, I was just like, yo, this is what it is. This is the opportunity. Let's do it. And it was just too much. So I do it myself. But like like two people called me, like Biggs and his brother, and was like, nah, I actually that, And
so they wasn't with it. They didn't see the vision.
They did see the vision.
I'm talking about your whole crew, the normal crew.
My crew used to be laughing at me, because my man Steve Mack, he just did a little doc he showed me about this battle between Jay and DMX. But it really wasn't meant to be a battle between Jay and DMX. It was a battle between my crew and Steve Mack's crew.
Word.
And I brought Jay and they had brought DMX because they knew the Rough Riders. And then that ended up happening. But my point is, within my crew, none of them believe, they used to, because Jay was from Brooklyn, so they used to be killing Jay, bro. They didn't think he was good.
Right.
They thought he was corny. You know what I'm saying? And my whole crew, because I didn't want to rap about selling drugs. I was more like native tongue. But then when Jay showed up at that battle and started talking that money talk, that's when my crew started to like him. You know what I mean? But, my point was, they were giving me a hard time about me choosing music and the music I was choosing over hustling.
Gotcha.
Like, like, for example, now I'm young, I'm like 19. I had bought the Pathfinder with the 4-door path, just came out black. I got the Oki phone, ain't got. I'm 19. I come around, my crew is killing me because I ain't got a ski rack. No, Dame, you can't. I'm talking about crap. Dudes that are taking the train are like, if you gonna do it and you don't do it right, we teasing you. So I sold it to Jay. That's really happened. Because he didn't care about shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when we come together, how initially, because it's going to get to obviously, how did you form the company initially? Like it's like, all right, all three of us put our money together and we're gonna call it Rockefeller, or you had a vision, say, yo, this is what we're gonna call it. How'd that work?
We were initially, I was managing Original Flavor, and Clark had given us a deal, and Clark introduced me to Jay, and I was a management company, and no one would sign Jay. They wouldn't sign him. They thought he was too old. They thought he rapped like jazz. So
you was the manager at this point. You just trying to shop him.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So, and we went to everybody. And we just said, let's do it ourselves. And we did it ourselves, you know. And Jay's participation was him rapping. Mine was the business, and, you know,
gotcha.
Like that.
So what leads us up to this Reasonable Doubt thing, which is by far one of my favorite albums.
NFT?
Yeah. Is it an NFT, or are you trying to sell a percentage of the company, or like how's that work?
So this is what happened. You know, the thing that Jay does a lot that I'm just like, it's petty. If I own something that he owns, he's not going to promote it at all. He doesn't, for some reason, like, you know, with Rockefeller, you remember when we were re-ing up for Rockefeller, he made a tour saying he retired. So, of course, it was hard to move forward. You remember this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were getting ready to sell Rockwell.
So there was a conversation about that?
We were getting ready to, no. We was going to sell Rockwell. I'd make $40 million. We're going to sell Rockwell to like Tommy Hilfiger, whatever. He makes an announcement that he's only doing S. Carter. Remember that? Do you remember the announcement?
Yeah, what?
Why would he make that announcement? I'm about to make $40 million. We have a vodka before Puff called Armandale.
Right.
And he does an ad with Belvedere. So if you notice, ain't nobody been talking about Reasonable Doubt, right? Because I still own a third of it. And I'm still the CEO of it as well. I never stepped down as CEO of Rockefeller, ever. So it's like, I already know what it is. I kind of just want to get away, sever that, and just leave. I know what he's going to do. As soon as I sell it, then he comes back. Because after that, I sold my interest to go do something else with Rockwell, and then all of a sudden he was a part of the brand, right? Remember? But you know, I'm not that guy. I'm like, whatever, bro. Just you do you, let me do me. It's like we're in different lanes. We do things a different way. Cool. So now he tries to offer me, years later, 25 years later, after not touching the shit, not promoting it, nothing, shit don't, you know, he tries to offer me 1.5 for my interest. And I'm like, yeah, send
in that album.
Yeah, send that over. I want to see that offer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, I guess I'll that offer. I'm going to sell it someplace else. And, you know, I'm a guy that's been opening up art galleries for the last 15 years all over the world. DD 172 in Tribeca, Poppington in the Lower East Side. Even here in Charleston, King Dusko on King Street. And even in North Carolina, in Hong Kong, Po Hung Fung. You know, I do art. You know, that's what I do. I love art. You know, I became more of an artist. So the NFT to me, I was like, this is a perfect alternative because you can sell anything and also give a 360 experience than have to deal with these guys.
Can you explain what an NFT is? Because I've heard it and
I'm going to say it in layman's terms. It's just digital art, but the great thing is once it's minted, it means that you're the original owner of it. And you could show it. It's just like if it was on a piece of paper, but the great thing about it is in the sale of it, because it's all in digital on the blockchain, if someone resells it, the artist can also get a piece moving forward. And you don't have to talk to that person. There's no accounting. Because it's in the blockchain, it's accountable. It just goes right to your wallet.
Got you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was selling my third of Rockefeller Inc., which I can.
Got you.
And I was making...
Oh, so they have to do nothing to it. Reasonable Doubt.
Listen, but Rockefeller Inc. owns Reasonable Doubt.
Sure.
So Rockefeller Inc. owns Reasonable Doubt.
Yes.
That's the only asset in that company. Maybe some other shit, but that's the most valuable. But it owns everything for Reasonable Doubt. I own a third of that. I was selling my third. I'm selling my third. They found out, and because there's nothing they can do about it, they accused me of minting the whole album. They accused me of soliciting that I'm going to sell the whole album or the rights or the copyright. And that never was what I was doing, but solely just because so no one else would want to buy it. So it devalued it. So we go to court. We went to court today.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At first, what happened was because it was so crazy what they were saying. I'm like, yo, you're lying on me. Like, what? And I never got served properly. So they went to court and got a TRO, a temporary restraining order, for 5 days. Just enough so they were like, nah, I just want to hear it. So today we actually answered. And, at this very moment, they still working out because no one wants to sell the whole thing.
Right.
And I can sell my third. That's clear. But they want to make it so it sounds foggy, make it convoluted, meaning, so we're working out the verbiage. Like, I ain't trying to sell it. Y'all not trying to sell the whole thing. And there's other things that come with that.
Right.
Like really funny meetings trying to be called. Like, at the end of the day, we'll get to that later. But
no,
we're
in that vein. Let's go for it.
Now, because going down. But at the end of the day, I can sell my third.
Right.
I'm never going to sell. None of us could sell all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm the acting CEO of Rockefeller Inc. for now, until I get voted off of it or there's something formal. So you can't pretend that you're the boss and you're not. I'm still the boss of Rockefeller. Anything else they got going on, I don't care. But over here, I'm still the acting CEO of Rockefeller Inc.
So just for clarity, you're selling a third of your stake in Rockefeller Inc.
Not a third of my stake. My stake is a third of Rockefeller Inc.
Right. Okay. Oh, yeah. So
and I'm selling a NFT of a picture that will represent that you own a third. I'm not minting anything Rockefeller, Reasonable Doubt. And they know that because they're in the business.
Right.
So they just blatantly lied to the judge just for a headline and a narrative. And then what was really disappointing about it was Jay's lawyer, this white man, Espiro, whatever his name is, he's calling me a thief. He's empowered a white man to call me a thief, to call a meeting and pretend that he can colonize my company and tell me, yo, this is what's going on, period. And you only represent one person there. And this is what they continuously do. But when it comes from someone from your own culture, because when you hear somebody's throwing dirt on you, for me, unless I can really prove it, I'm not addressing it.
Right.
I've been hearing shit for a long time of how they lie on me and try to discredit me in a certain world. And then to actually do this in public and validate it, like, they lied on me. And I'm like, so this is how y'all been playing all this time? Like, I seen what you've been doing with the, you're not going to, promote Reasonable Doubt as I own it. You don't want to be a part of Rockefeller. You retiring as long as we own it. You don't want to be, you S. Doc Carter as long as we own Rockware. We see all that. But that, to me, is that I'm not going to dumb my energy down to or even address because I can't really, prove it.
Right. When
But this time,
right
now, they lied on me. And that's a fact. And that's all I want to address. Why are you saying I'm minting if I mint something, that means it's already on the blockchain. Y'all know I'm not. How you going to double down on that?
Yeah.
For just to discredit something and then try to do some more flash. Because we had they tried to call a shareholders meeting. And Jay as a director. Jay's not the director. I'm the director. We get there. His lawyer, I'm like, yo, who are you? Or actually, they trying to pass a law to make him the director, but he called it the director. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, for sure.
But you can't even call that meeting. And we get there, my lawyers, I'm like, yo, my lawyer would like to voice my objections, but she has some things to say. They were just trying to tell me, no, nobody, railing. I'm like, yo, you're not going to yell over my lawyer. Let her say what she got to say. Who are you? Who do you represent? I represent Jay. We hadn't even heard Jay's voice. But you just filed a lawsuit against me on Rockefeller Records as Rockefeller Records.
Right.
Who's the secretary? Like, just let me know. His other lawyer. So he like, yo, what the f- is going? Yo, peace. So they basically was trying to change bylaws that is crazy at this level. But I just don't understand why. Be mad at a man for getting money.
Right.
So, that's where we at with it. But at the end of the day, they're going to try to make muddy language so for a headline. But my point was, before that, is that I read something where he said Damon went on a rant at a shareholders meeting. I went on a rant because I said I'd like to voice. And then you're going to pretend you're my boss for a company that I'm the CEO of. And then tell me how you're going to distribute it. That's colonizing. It was like a racist white man trying to make a black man believe a company's not his. But it came from another person from my culture. Called me a thief on Juneteenth. What type of time is that? I'm like, just because I'm a sell, but I can sell my third, period.
Sure. So what is the legal issue? If you own it, you can sell
it. You're not hearing me. The accusation was that I was trying to sell everyone's third.
Gotcha.
Which is a lie.
Right.
And the reason why they said it is because they saw some internal memo that I never saw that was going to be like about the announcement. In the announcement, it only says that I was selling a third. And I never saw whatever their internal memo was. So it's really based on hearsay.
And the thing at hand was he actually sent a proposal and you had him send like, yo, you want to buy this third? And that's what you were trying to sell, yeah.
But their accusations, I was trying to sell the whole thing. Right. So when the headline says nobody can sell the whole thing, it looks like I got benched. I never tried to sell the whole thing. But clearly we need people to know there's nothing stopping me from selling my third of Rockefeller Inc., which owns Reasonable Doubt.
How much did you want? Did you send a counter?
Well, what he said was I stand to make $30 million. That's what Jay said in his paperwork and his declaration.
Right.
As a shareholder, not as a director.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted? Do a 30 or?
I'm just saying.
I mean, if somebody want to buy it, I mean,
I don't know. Well, you got 30?
I don't got 30.
So why you ask?
I don't know. Somebody might.
Unless you can buy it.
Somebody might be listening and say, yo, hold on. I got 30.
No window shopping.
No
window shopping.
I ain't mad at that. Yo, as you're structuring a company, what did we do wrong in the beginning? That obviously you're a kid, you putting this company together.
I do not.
You on a third, you are a third, I on a third.
It's perfect. The thing that scares me.
What would you do differently now?
Nothing. The thing, I just really am surprised that so many people at so many levels are so petty and cheap. Like, yo, play fair, bro. Like, don't say I tried to do something I didn't do.
All right.
That's all.
Did you, the first time something that happened with either the liquor or the shoe, did you have the conversation? Did you like, yo, what's up? What are you doing?
I just would be like, this is good, man. The funny shit is like Biggs is rocking with him so tough. And the reason why Rockefeller broke up in the first place was because he didn't want to break bread with Biggs no more. And I was like, yo, we can start something different. But I can't do that to Biggs. You know what I mean?
Hold on. What you mean he didn't want to break? What do you mean?
He didn't want Biggs to be a part of it anymore. That's what happened. He probably leaned on us and was like, yo, I should get more. And I'm like, I'm the best CEO in the world. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And then Biggs was like, it was a whole thing. But it's just funny how things roll out. But yeah, they weren't speaking for like 2 years.
Gotcha.
No one knew though, but it was just, I don't know, he don't like to see people eat. Or at least that's, now I don't know why they would want to devalue my third or try to with me. I don't get it. But I'm not having it.
Yeah. Let me ask you from an entrepreneurship standpoint, and I feel like I do these interviews for free coaching. So I have a podcast and it's doing well. And I want to recruit, for lack of better words, other podcasters, right? Kind of how you took some people, just made them stars. I see the talent.
Well, as a podcast, if you have a plug for the sales, that's when you can do that.
If I have a plug for the sales, what do you mean?
So it's like, this is what Complex did before for like websites. Because they had sales teams, they'd be like, yo, I'll let you use my sales team, but you got to bust it down with me. You know what I mean? So it'd be like, I'll let you use my sales team, but I get a percentage of that. Like half, So if you have a sales team and you bring in that, that's all they all do.
Right. So if I say I take
that's
an
how
artist.
you get paid with a podcast, right? Sales. Commercials.
One of the ways, yeah.
And then also while you have all those people there, you sell them other things.
Right.
Yeah.
So I find a salesperson and say, yo, I got this podcast that I'm building. You give me X amount of dollars. We can put ads in this person's.
Right. So if you
Podcast.
let's say that someone's doing a podcast that you're not doing, but they don't have sales. That's really the trick. If you don't have sales, you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, yo, I could get you 20 racks from this person because I'm talking about my shit.
Right.
And they're like 20, then you take a percentage of the 20. And you or you either partner up or whatever. But you got to bring something to the table.
Right.
I mean, that's how I see it.
Is this era, and I don't know if you know this era like that. You know a little bit about everything, but is this era different than music? In terms of, okay, so back in the day, they started talking about these contracts.
There was no internet, bro.
Right.
Period. Think about life with no internet. That's the life that we survived in first. So there was no alternative. Like right before, you had to pay to be heard and seen. No one could stop that now. So that's why there's a lot of stars that would not have been stars if there wasn't the internet. Because no one would have heard them. They wouldn't have had the money to buy that real estate.
Do you still sign artists?
No, I never really signed artists. I do partnerships with artists. See, that's shit I don't like. Like another man saying another man owns them or signed them. I don't find that masculine. You know, I don't want to say I signed this dude. Nah, we working together. We partners. I don't want to own you. That's what that means. I just sold all my rights, and now I get a royalty. So signed, and I wanted that connotation to be bad. That's why now people are doing things independently and being celebrated for it. But before, that language was taboo. Hey, you give me another drink?
So what stops you? Not Simon. You partner with me on my podcast, right? You're like, yo, it's now part of Dame Dash Studios. What stops me?
First and foremost, I wouldn't even do that with you. I'd partner with you on a TV show.
Explain it, because this might be out by the time you see.
Yeah, you put it out, but don't matter. It'd be like, yo, we got movie cameras in here. Why you calling it a podcast? It's about narrative. It's a TV show. You got 3-4 cameras. You got lights. You got a studio. And you can also edit it different, and it could be on a different platform than a podcast platform. A podcast usually is an audio experience. You go to YouTube to see it. Anyone could do that.
Right.
But a TV show takes a lot more, and the platforms that TV shows play on give you more and generate more money. They'll pay more ads for it. And it's something that can give you residual income. So residual income is something that's played over and over again.
Right.
So why wouldn't you want to create a catalog of things? Because when you do a podcast, it's about events that are happening now.
Right.
So once that's gone, nobody want to talk about that shit no more. Yeah. Unless it's legendary like I be doing.
Right.
You know? But if you're doing the news, you got to do the news every day, all day. You make a movie, that same movie plays for generations.
Yeah.
There are people that see me now and only know me for state property and be like, damn, I thought you was 20. I'm like, that was 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
But they still see it like it was yesterday. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
So again, what I was telling you before, residual income is where that's what you want. You want to make bread for shit that you did years ago while you're sitting at the pool.
Yeah.
But it has to be something that people want to see over and over again. Hey, you're not going to give me a drink? Everybody going to ignore me? I was going to get...
So this is my... Because I was telling you, like, I think I'm going to get a studio in Atlanta. I definitely love to have that conversation, see how we can make that shape.
It's
but I
always
about
a 360 experience. So, again, I'll tell you about that octopus. It's about the clothing. It's about the doc. It's about the movie. It's about the TV show. It's about the tour. And the book. And you want to have a place that... This is a place where I just create. This is my brain physically. Where if someone wants to interview me, bong, I got it. If I want to make a movie, bong, I got it. You saw back there my creative room with all these people just being creative, making books, making comics, doing storyboards. Thank you. We make music here. This shit right here is plugged up to Pro Tools. So we put I'm in a rock band. So when we record, it's live, like a stage, and they just record that, and that's what I capture, mix in the back room, bong, it's out. You know, this is my office.
Man.
But this is not what the traditional office. You sit behind a desk, walls, barriers. That's the programming that we have to break. And we have to stick together. We have to stop empowering other cultures to fucking tell us what to do and bluff. We got to embrace when our brothers make money and help them make money. I'm happy to see anyone I'm a part of get money. But the people I tend to help be so mad when I make bread. I just don't get it to the extent lie on me.
That gotta be frustrating, man. Like
It's
putting
like
people on. And
well, I initially find it funny. Like I'm like, damn, why niggas like so bothered by my happiness?
Mhm.
Like that means every time someone was around me, they was really bothered because I was having so much fun, and because I'm the real deal. Because I don't care what anyone thinks. I just care about fighting the right and good, honorable fight to the extent that I'm down for that action publicly. But I'm not gonna cheat just because you cheat. So my challenge becomes to win in a game full of cheaters, but still play fair. That's the fun for me. But I also know that action comes with this game. So I embrace it and I'm prepared for it when it comes. But at the end of the day, I'm not giving up my integrity. I'm never going to serve up my culture. And I'm never going to hate on another man when they get money. I'm going to be happy.
Did Lee Daniels give you $2 million?
We worked it out.
You worked it out? How did he come to owe you that money?
I loaned him $2 million for a movie.
No interest, no stake, or?
I mean, I could have did all that, but I really wanted to see another black man win.
Yo, so you just gave him the bread like, here's a little boost. Do your thing, just gave my bread back.
That's it.
And then didn't want to pay you back after he was up.
Yeah, I can't really talk too much about it.
Yeah. It's disappointing, though.
It's culturally, we're programmed to do that to each other.
Do you think, where's this come from? Like,
what do you mean? The people that are controlling. The person that serves up and gives our culture up the most is the person that's going to be celebrated by another culture the most. And what's funny is then we celebrate that person because, that other culture is celebrating you. It's crazy that, and it's a good program. It's our fault for not breaking it. I know I did. So I don't understand the unconsciousness of other people and how they can live with themselves. But for me, I live free. I sleep good every day. But now it's like, in the street, back where I was from, guns or not, if you say, yo, let me get a fair one, put the guns down and one-on-one fair one. And I've always thought that the rest of the world would abide by that. Just give me a fair one. But the people that I thought were honorable were actually cheating and lying on me. And that's not fair. And I just am very concerned about people lying on me and me always having to fight because people want to continuously lie because they want to stop me from eating.
Yeah. How do you, and this is a personal
part of
question
the game.
How do you not care what people think about you? Because I have a real problem
Why
with that.
would, how, my question, let me ask you,
100%.
How do you care about what people think about you? Why would you, if someone's not smarter than you, cooler than you, not playing the game you're playing, how could you care about what they're thinking? They're so insecure because they're not doing what you're doing that they're projecting. They need a therapist. Why would you even care?
I think my heart is to, I want to be understood. And I guess to a degree.
Why?
I don't know. It's like, yo, why do you feel
that's ego, bro.
Okay.
If it don't matter, if it don't yield, if it don't make bread, if you're not going to get, why would you care about with somebody that's not as aware as you think?
I'm trying to figure that out because I truly care what people think about me.
That's the problem.
I know. That's why I'm open enough to say it. Like maybe I have a need for acceptance.
Because you're meant to think that you're supposed to care and that's supposed to be your W. So what matters more to you? Feeding your family or what people think?
Feeding my family.
Then that's what should trump everything all the time.
100%.
If it ain't about death, jail, and, no one's starving, I really don't care, bro. As long as my family's eating, I don't give a what you think. A lot of times I want you to think I'm not doing so well so you could leave me the alone.
Right.
But literally, this Rockefeller was 20 years ago. I'm 50. Why are we still talking about? Leave me alone. I done did everything
you
different.
Made history, bro. People are never going to stop talking about that.
I get it, but
you made history, bro.
I get it. Being able to smell your roses while you're here is definitely something that should be appreciated. Artists like Van Gogh were not. They sells for, he might have sold for $27 and now it would sell for $27 million. He don't get $1 of that. So I'm always appreciative of the fact that I can walk around and see people appreciate what I've done. But you still have that other angle. Like, think about the people that have been trying to compromise the integrity of me, or at least devalue my word.
Yeah.
Why would you want to devalue the word of a person that only wants to help the culture? That's just giving. Because it your hustle up. And who's sending you to do that is my question. Someone from another culture. So if I'm the most influential person in the culture, I'm going to make my culture awake. If I'm a billionaire, I'm going to teach you how to be one. So I want to see some of these billionaires teach someone how to be one. Because that's the only reason why you should be there culturally, is so everyone else could know the path. So I've always given up the game because I want us to move forward. But what always happens, another culture says you're giving up too much game. Who the f are you to tell me what I'm giving up to my culture? And then someone else, well, yo, if you could stop him, we'll pay you because he's making them too smart. We'll let you rent the house. We'll let the house look like it's yours, but all you got to do is stop him from waking up the community. Why would another black man stop a black man from helping black people? Or just people?
You have a really tight relationship with Kanye. Is there any terms of business relationship that y'all have in terms of like him showing people how he did it?
My rules and boundaries with Kanye is me and Kanye don't speak about our business in public.
Yeah. Is he? I mean, I guess you wouldn't be able to answer that. But learning how to be a billionaire, like I feel like you know how to be a billionaire. You just gotta.
I'm not a billionaire. I'm on my way. I'm a billionaire in love, laughter, and fun. But for me to be a billionaire because I'm doing it on my own will take a little longer. And Kanye is every bit of, he deserves to be a billionaire.
Why?
Because he does things that most people don't. He's fearless.
Yeah. I want that, bro. I think I need a therapist.
I'm trying to give you some of that. Not give a energy, that boss.
Because it does stop me from like really going to the max. If you
care about what people think, don't even think about being famous. Forget about that.
Oh yeah, they always want to throw darts, huh?
I mean, it's part of the game. If a million people love you and 10,000 hate you, still gonna hear that 10,000 that hate you, right?
That's a fact.
If you bother by the 10,000 that hate you, that will take the time to talk about another man. Again, it's not you that needs the therapy; it's the people that are so worried about you that need it.
As an entrepreneur, I got to ask you. We're walking through, and we know you do a lot. Like you are an entrepreneur to the core. Is there a such thing as being too ambitious because you can't focus on it all?
Yeah. Not too ambitious, but, you know, if you're inspired by 100 things at the same time, and for me, guys like Kanye, everything we want, we need to see it. It's insanity. But when you win, when you actually doing, you always have to be able to dream. You know? You always have to be able to dream. I teach a class, well, I'm part of a group called the OSG, which is 90 Black Principles. And initially I got with them because Lays from MOP asked me to get on a Zoom. I blindly got on it.
OSG?
Yeah, off school grounds. 90 Black Principles.
Oh, like principles in the school. Got you.
What time is it? It might be on right now. And you know, we talk about entrepreneurship, the things that the regular curriculum isn't teaching.
Right.
And a lot of what we talk about is dreaming. And it's really hard for people to dream. I'll be like, look, give me a dream that doesn't involve helping people, just helping yourself. And a lot of people just don't dream. And if you're gonna dream, why wouldn't you dream big? It doesn't cost no money to dream.
Right. It seems like if you were like...
you said something I like, you said on my dream board, these are the people I wanted to interview. That's what I do. I do a vision board. I think about what I want to buy and then the things I'm going to do to buy it. You actually manifested, put the energy in, now it's happening. So why wouldn't you put a bigger dream on a vision board? That's powerful. You made it happen like that. You found the path to get to your dream. You got to know your dream to find the path to get to your dream.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, well, to get to a dream, a lot of people have the same dream, but it's not one path that's going to agree with everyone to get there. So you might start up a path, this ain't right for me, I ain't going to do it. But you don't quit. You find another path, and you keep looking for the path to get to your dream until you find it on your terms. But if you don't look, it's not going to find you. But you can't expect to get there like everyone else. I don't think you want to get where Kanye got the way he got there. It entails a lot. And you might not want to get where I got. You might not want to. I'm about that action. I like fighting. I like being Alexander the Great and, Julius Caesar and Hannibal. I like being known as a warrior that won't back down. No matter how big someone appears, I'm fighting. I'm not going back. And you seeing it live.
Right.
Someone that uses somebody else's money against someone that uses his own. I ain't backing down. If I'm wrong, show me I'm wrong. But don't cheat. You got to be about that life.
Yeah.
That might give a lot of people anxiety. That brings me joy.
Right.
A public fight and I'm prepared and you lying?
Right.
Let's go.
Right.
But give me a fair one.
Right.
Let's eat. Can I live?
No doubt. But so I teach a lot of entrepreneurs that, like, especially in the beginning, to focus on something, because I believe if Dame Dash put all his energy into, I don't know, apparel,
it'd
be $1 billion company, right?
Definitely be a $1 billion company.
Do you feel like
I've become too creative, bro. I'm not the best businessman anymore. I don't have the tolerance to deal with people when it comes time to market and distribute. I'm sitting here with a lot of work, and I'm like, I had so much fun making it. You know how many albums I didn't put out, bro? How much I got in there just because it's like, I just got too artsy-fartsy, and I didn't become worried about perception or bread. But, to continue to do certain things, you got to put it out.
Yeah.
I got the best creative team in the world and a decent legal team. But now I have to put together the best administrative team. As a creative, one side of your brain is working. Yeah. Someone I was talking to told me today, he said, you know what's ill about you? Both sides of your brain work. I've never seen anything like it. You're a complete businessman, but you're also a complete artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like creating.
But yeah, but that could be the Achilles heel though, because that's my problem. First off, I got a bunch of problems as an entrepreneur.
These ain't no problems. I'm having fun, bro. You know I'm alive.
But if the goal is to be a billionaire,
that's on my terms.
Right.
So that means I'm gonna get there when I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
But the finding the path has been like, I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
It's like I might not even want to get there too quick. I'll get bored. Right. But I'm having fun doing it honest.
Yeah.
I'm having real fun fighting a fair fight. Yeah. I mean, imagine if I wanted to be a sellout, how good I'd be at it. Right? I could make so much money selling out. Right. But I would never. I just, when I walk in a room with people that appear to be great to other people, and they know I know how they got where they're at, they still this little. I promise you. Yo, like to get to court today, they tried 3 different ways not to get in front of that judge, bro. Really? They did not want that smoke. You know what I mean? It's all public record. You could look at the judge was like, yo, if you don't come in, because they were like, yo, we don't think we need to come in. The judge like, bring your in here personally. And they was like, well, we got other shit to do. You better give me a letter. But either way, I need you on Zoom. But either way, you come in here, you said a lot of shit. I need to hear this in person. You done lied on a man.
Was he at court? Was he on the Zoom?
I wasn't in court.
All right.
The lawyers went, but it was funny because even on the that shareholders meeting, he didn't say a word.
Well, he was there.
I don't know. And I don't care.
Right. In your decades of like being, what have you learned about money?
That it makes people do some real foul, nasty shit, and it's overrated. Love is all that counts. Currency. Real currency counts. If you're not laughing, if you're not having fun, if you're lonely, if you can't take care of the people you love because you just don't have the ability to connect, you broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Broke.
You have a lot of employees?
I have a lot of people that work with me.
Here's a question I need to ask you too. You are so
You've seen everybody in here.
Oh, for sure.
No one's in here for free. Not one person.
You and I both, I think we share like the passion for entrepreneurship, right? But as an entrepreneur, you need help. You need people to kind of work on the dream, which they may not necessarily be an entrepreneur, but how do you balance that? Because
everyone that works with me has to have a dream. You can't help me build my dream if you can't work on your own. So everyone here, after a certain amount of time, once you've helped me a certain amount of time, I start leaning on you. Like, yo, what's your dream? And I'm going to give you everything I have to help you make it happen. And if you don't, you cannot work for me.
But a key employee would help build the vision. But if they have their own dream and it's going in a different direction, then you got to replace that person and start all over with the training process.
Just cut them off like an octopus leg and get someone that has similar dreams. What they're here for. That means they're just here for a check. I don't pay anyone here enough to not have a dream that I can help them with. For me to tell people to be independent and have employees that I'm like, yo, it's guilty for me to be paying people and not helping them make something happen where we could be partners.
For sure.
So everyone in here has the ability to be a partner with me in something. And while we're building that dream, I'm paying you to help me do mine so you can support yourself.
I agree. And obviously Mark, he does the video and the editing, and I should be able to pay him $20,000 a month. I can't, obviously, but the goal is to get there. Maybe not everybody working on their own thing, but like, yo, if we're going to build this empire, when we get to this point, you'll be at 20 and you can live whatever it is that you're doing. So that's my challenge in entrepreneurship, because I can't preach it, then not teach it, and then have you working for me. But I need you to work on the project so we can build it.
That's why you have to help them with a dream. That's what I do. The way you help them is give them all your resources. I get another drink? Like, so who I'm asking to get me a drink, where you at? Who's getting it for me? Come up here.
What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com, because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book every single chapter, every single day? We're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all of this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning.
What's your job with me?
Assistant/massage therapist.
Assistant/massage therapist. Okay.
What's your dream?
To be a singer.
So you've been working with me how long?
Okay.
What have you done in 7-8 months that you have never done before in your life?
I created an album. I've been performing like at least once a week.
So you've been working on your dream. How do I talk to you about your dreams? You do your job fairly well. If I'm frustrated with you at all, what is it usually about?
Not working hard enough.
Not working hard enough on your dreams.
So can you give me a drink now? And I want her to dream about making so much money, and she ain't got to never get me a drink again.
Yeah. And that, I mean,
that wasn't scheduled.
Yeah.
And anyone else that, I didn't know who was going to come up. They would have a story. Who else is back there? Nicolette, where you at?
That's how to make a laugh for setting this whole thing up, though. Really appreciate you. And this is, I was on one of my team calls. Come on. I was on one of my team calls, and I just pointed out, like, everybody on my team, I help them get money in some way. I'm referring them to something. But then and this was just this past Monday. And I'm like, yo, I think my dream needs to be big enough so that because I can't get
Their
there without
dreams have
that.
to be big too.
Right.
Or else you got low energy around you.
How can you incorporate their dream into your dream?
I just did. I just showed you. She made the album. I have producers. I make music. While I'm rehearsing, she rehearses. I have a platform music. Put your music in my commercials. Put your music in my TV shows. Perform. Nicolette, where you at? She might be in the back.
What's going on, Nicolette?
All right. What's up? Now, Nicolette basically is almost the only person in my infrastructure that's allowed to be as childish as me. We're like, that's my little man. And she's with me all the time. You have to be like me to be around me.
For sure.
You have to love women too.
Okay.
Because I love women.
All right.
It might be offensive. So, Nicolette, what's your dream? Besides, she runs, she does a lot. Too much. What's your dream?
To make money from my music and wake up with my dream soulmate and wake up whenever I want and all that good stuff.
So what have you been doing?
Working on my music.
How many albums have you made?
I've completed one, which is out, but I'm working on an R&B project, a country/rock project.
What about your movie making? That's done. That's not edited.
Yeah, I have this movie Playtoy coming out.
Now, the pressure I put on her this week was what? Where are we at with your dream right now? What do you got to do?
So now I'm challenged to make an event where I bring all of my culture, bring culture to you.
Well,
my lesbian community.
This is your party. This is your show. She has to throw her own show, promote her show, and she has a place to do it. It's going to get covered, but she has to learn how to promote. But again, she's helping me with mine. I can tell her what to do to get where she has to go and give her everything that I got.
Yeah.
I let them perform.
I'm going to unite all the lesbians.
I'm not mad at
that. Right. Yo, okay, let me ask you a question, okay? So a part of this dream, like say you were able to like be super up and you helped Dane become a billionaire, right? Obviously, there's no way you're not like super duper up. He becomes a billionaire.
And I want you to know that everything above and beyond that, we designed these shorts together. She texted
I asked for them joints too. Do you have those? Because I know you don't.
These are samples right here.
Okay. I saw the Dusko joints. I was like, I need that.
Dusko one. Like, those are right now, the ones that are coming in are the CEO black and the CEO white ones. Those will be in, and the rest, y'all can order.
Say less.
And I'm only making 100.
I need one. Nicolette, just hold me down. I send me an invoice. So why isn't the vision? Because you already have this great vehicle. Yo, I want to get this company to $1 billion company because ultimately you'll be able to live your dream and you won't even have to do the stuff that you want to do for money. You feel me? So that's where, from another CEO, I'm like, how can I impart in, I'm glad we're having this conversation. How can I impart in somebody that works for me to like be all in on the vision so we can both be super up?
Because if I'm performing, she knows I'm going to let her perform. If I make a movie, she knows her music's in my movie.
I see.
So it all coincides. We start to, it makes things easier. Like, why should I hire or pay for someone else's records and we got our own?
Gotcha. I would love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, what's your perspective?
Dame is super inspirational. So I'm always like, I can't let him out hustle me. I'm like half his age. And, when he wins, I win. When I win, he wins. So that's just the mentality I have. And you got to find people that actually care like that.
I feel that.
Not just there for the money.
I feel that. And my biggest challenge is I always teach some sort of a singular focus. But we don't have, and maybe that's my problem. Like, I gotta be locked in on something, and everything I lock in on grows really, really big. And I'm trying to instill that into my people too. So, I mean, you work for me, and you're doing this for you, and you're probably working on something else. Why don't we all just put our minds together on some Captain Planet? Yo, this is
the way I do it is, if you sitting here doing this, and someone's helping you, then I'm gonna say, let me see you do exactly what I'm doing on your terms. So they can actually do the same thing you're doing because you're brave enough to do it. You should never send somebody to do something you won't do yourself, and then let them do their own podcast.
For sure.
That's it. Whatever I'm doing, you do.
Yeah.
Period. I'm making a book, make a book. If I'm making an album, make an album. I'm doing it. That means you know how to do it and you can do it. But I'm leading by example. Like she said, I'm 50. So I should never be out hustling you.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Thank you so much, Nicolette. So
Can you roll me a joint?
Think about this, right? Rockefeller. We all focused on this, building this one company. And then, like you said, he goes to, there's other ambitions that
Bro,
he
when
got.
Rockefeller got disintegrated, Kanye, Jay-Z, Cameron and Dipset, State Property, Beanie Siegel, Joe Buttons, Noriega, everyone was starting to get rich. Money fucked it up so no one could get rich but him.
That's what I'm saying. If everybody's focus was continuing to, if nobody else had these other ambitions, right? To, I just want to do my own thing. I don't
It's a
want
matrix,
partners.
bro. It's a matrix. So people f your mind and think perception is better than actual. So all that matters is what's really going on. So, it's what's happening on paper. What's the scorecard? What have you done? What have I done for you? What have you done for me? What are you mad at? What have I been mad at? You can't turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Period. And don't cheat. And don't give a I think you got to get over what people think first and foremost. And then that'll give you a lot more clarity about the other stuff.
Yeah.
But once you don't give a what nobody think, life is beautiful. And my life been beautiful my whole life. I ain't never gave a about what nobody thought. And they've said every single thing that they could say about me for the last 30 years, and it's never slowed me down or made me have a fucked up day.
Right.
I'm having way too much fun.
Right.
Thank you. That was fucking quick.
Let me ask you this question.
I respect that.
In the event that we was going to partner on something, right?
We are. We already did. We in my studio.
How would you structure it?
50-50.
So, who puts up the money?
Money for what?
You might need money for something.
What you mean? You say you need money, you got to know what for. There's
no. I'm saying I don't need money, but I'm sure you'll need some money for something, whether it's marketing, promotion.
I just asked the question, bro.
Okay. So you got all the equipment. You got all the equipment. Got a studio. Set build out, design.
What's set build out? What are you talking about?
You gotta have that joint saucy.
Let's not put the cart before the horse. See exactly what we're gonna do.
Right.
I thought we was gonna do some Poppington University. That ain't gonna cost nothing for us, besides what we already got, and whatever, and then a real TV show. And you take it from there. You got to break it down.
Right.
Yeah.
So
don't worry, bro.
So the money that we put up, I put up half, you put up half.
Yeah, but what money we got to put up?
I don't know. It's always some expenses for something.
What? Coffee?
No, promotion, marketing.
What promotion? What do you got to pay for?
Ads, maybe.
How much the ads cost?
I spent a couple. I spent about $1,000 a day in ads.
I thought we was talking about some money.
What you mean?
1,000 a day?
Yeah.
30,000 a month?
Yeah.
And what does that bring you?
3x return.
Yeah, maybe I should start listening to you.
There's a cost associated with going big. Because we can do it organic, like my following, your following, but
let's put a budget together. See what it costs, and then what we stand to make.
I like that. A lot of people say it's hard to work with you, bro.
It's hard to rob me. Who told you it's hard to work with
you? People be like, yo,
people.
The internet.
You mean the
perception?
People, if everyone that works with me is in Forbes, how could it be hard to work with? If everyone that works with me, Kevin Hart's doing all right. Jay's doing all right.
What'd you do with Kevin Hart?
I discovered Kevin Hart. I directed his first 2 movies.
Paper Soldiers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not so crazy.
That's cool. That's wild. I didn't know that was your movie, bro.
It's my normal. I directed that movie.
Yeah, that was my favorite movie from mad long. Before Kevin Hart was Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That joint was hilarious.
Yeah. You didn't even know it, right?
I had no idea.
He should. He should tell you, but he won't. But my point is, Kevin Hart, Lee Daniels, Jay-Z, Kanye West, it's not an accident. Cameron, Rachel Roy, it goes on and on. That's what I do. So how could it be hard? It's hard to get to that level. And people that complain about it are those that just couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And then those that make it sometimes resent me for getting them there.
How do you prevent that happening? What's been happening?
Do it
to you?
yourself for yourself.
So you're not in the business of making nobody a star no more.
If they're helping me, I help them. I'm making the OSG principals a star. You have something called the commission, with Senator Eddie Milton, Congressman Andre Carson, Bishop Purnell, Dr. Purnell, Do It All from Lords of the Underground. He's running for city council. Taj, Melanie for recognizing trauma. And those are therapists. And yeah, we form together like Voltron and we help. We get it popping.
How much did Paid in Full cost to make?
Like $8 million.
You put up all the bread?
No, I did that with fucking Miramax and Dimension. That's when I learned that I need to put up all the bread.
What was the agreement?
They buy my idea from me and pay me a fee.
Oh, so you don't get residuals?
Light. Not
right.
Really. The other deals I made were better.
Gotcha. Dang, the art of the deal. Damn, I appreciate you, man. Is there anything we didn't talk about?
I don't know. There's a lot I didn't talk about, but
let's talk about some stuff we didn't talk about.
Like what?
I don't know, bro. You are like.
You want to talk about the art galleries I opened up?
Yes. Yeah. Because I don't understand art either. Like, how does this game work? Why is a piece of art worth millions of dollars?
Because the point of view of the person that's expressing themselves, and what they mean to the world and who appreciates them, what they've done.
Is it more about the art or the story or the person?
It's all. The process, the story, the person, how good it is. Just like music. Yeah. Music is an art. Boxing is an art. Everything is an art if it's done from an organic place. People copy art all the time. But that's what I am, a fighter to preserve the original art.
Mm-hmm. So talk about the art galleries.
Like I told you, I opened them up all around the world. And they were always more like a collective of different kinds of people, but I always showcased art as well. And I've, developed very strong relationships with a lot of artists. And I've seen people, like the thing about traditional art is you don't get appreciated till you die.
Right.
So it was about figuring out how to get you to smell your roses while you're here. And also, because you're an artist and because you're independent, you shouldn't have to be broke. Right. So I'm working with this artist, Wyland, who does the biggest murals all over the world. He has 100 of them. I just came back from Laguna Beach visiting him. He's rolling, but he fights the man, and he's never had to do anything but what he loves. Yeah. And that's why I support that. And people have to see that independence yields. There is luxury that comes with it.
Mm. So the price is dictated off of the narrative you paint around the art.
All of it. It's all of it. It's a lot of things. Art is not a scheduled thing. You never know why someone's going to love something.
Right.
That's it's art about it.
And it's a profitable business in terms of art galleries?
For me, I was more a collector. So it attracted a lot of new artists. It never made me any real money. I couldn't exploit the game the way most do. Mm-hmm. But what I've done is been able to collect a lot of art from people before they made it, so you get it at a cheap price, and once they make it, you got a lot of it, so it's worth more. It's like, I don't know if you're ever a drug dealer, but prices go up and down. So if the prices are down, you buy a lot of it, you put it up, and then when the prices go up, you bring it out, and then you sell it for more.
Right.
It's like that.
It's like stocks.
Yeah, sure like that.
How do you discover artists? It's just, is it a feeling like
they inspire me?
Yeah.
If they all come around, I don't look for nothing. Everybody comes to it's an energy. I go out and I get it back.
And also, so lastly, I know you got the streaming platform.
Streaming service, yeah.
How's that going?
It's going really good.
Good. So what are you looking for in terms of people that produce content to put on?
But also
everything that comes on the platform is something that you made here.
Here or that I made with my company, my production company.
So I wouldn't produce my own show and then bring it to you and say, hey, put it on your platform.
You could, but it'd be hard to monetize. We would do it together. If you had something, I'd say you could, deal with my traffic, but it'd be hard to pay. It's about building an asset that's going to generate some residual income later.
Solid. Look, man, I learned a lot, and I know you got a very busy day, man.
Hopefully, after this interview, things should be better.
Facts.
Even though they're doing well now, and yeah, we'll do the school
Absolutely.
and a TV show.
Cool. Well, look, I have maybe we kind of talk about it. I have a group called the Morning Meetup where I get together with a group every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I teach entrepreneurship. Oh. So literally every morning it's about 400 entrepreneurs from all across the country that join that joint. So I'd love to get you on there, get your perspective, man. I think
you should come on to OSG.
Say less, I'll be there.
Entrepreneur joint, and then we could do it. I definitely like to talk to entrepreneurs.
Let's do it. Dang, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, family. Yes, sir. All right, we are out of here, wrapping up. Make sure y'all check out the Social Proof Podcast on all streaming platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast. We out of here. Peace.
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it, and we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, the how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together a Patreon, we put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay, so check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated.